Shalom, I am Andrea. And have you celebrated the Festival of Matzah before? Because if not, I would love to tell you a little bit about it, what it means from a spiritual perspective as well, and how to prepare for it. So Father says to us in Leviticus 23 that from the 15th of Aviv, also known as Nisan, for 7 days is the Festival of Matzah. So on the 14th of Aviv, or Nisan, is the Festival of Pesach, and then right after that is Matzah for 7 days. Will you believe me if I tell you I never remember that it's 7 days long? Every time with Matzah and with Sukkot, I don't remember, is this 7 days or 8 days? And then I have to go to Leviticus 23. So make a mental note, Leviticus 23 is the place for all the information, but there's more information in Deuteronomy as well. So God says we must remove all leaven from our gate. There can be found no leaven in your gates for 7 days long. What does this mean? This means that your sourdough starter must be thrown away. It cannot be found on your premises. And also yeast, bovril, marmite, stock blocks. Go through everything in your cupboards. Look for raising agents, yeast extract, and so forth. You may be thinking, Andrea, that's ridiculous. This is insane. Why do we need to do this? We're free from the law. We're free from these stupid rules. Well, firstly, I would never refer to something that God says as stupid rules because this is something that God says. This is not some random thing that people made up. And we need to then think, why did God tell us to do these things? Because it's kind of strange. Why do we need to do that? And the reason for it is yeast signifies sin. So how is this something that is important for a New Testament believer to do? Well, the interesting thing is, if you're going to do Matzah now, the Festival of Matzah, the Festival of Unleavened Bread, then you're going to see somewhere in the week you will eat something that is not permitted for that week. You will. I'm not speaking a curse. And may you get it right this year that you don't eat it. But this is going to be my 12th one. Every single time you think, oh, okay, there's no leaven in my house. Everything has been removed. I'm vigilant. I will not do it this time. And then randomly you eat something. One Festival of Matzah, we thought, oh, we're so good. We're not eating anything that has matzah in it. And then we realized the whole matzah, we were eating Matzos with bovril. Can you imagine? That clearly has yeast extract in, and we knew it too. So let's read, what does the scripture say about this day? There are many scriptures. There's in Exodus, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy. Exodus 12, verse 14 to 16 in the New Living Translation. This is a day to remember each year from generation to generation. You must celebrate it as a special festival to the Lord. This is a law for all time. For 7 days, the bread you eat must be made without yeast. So he says for all time. He doesn't say until the Messiah comes, because he knew that the Messiah was going to come. But it's really special. It's a fun one, though it's not necessarily so fun. So it's a fun one in a sense that it's a challenge, because now you eat Matzos, so you can eat these ones. I am not a fan of the box Matzos because I believe that the box that it comes in is about as tasty as the Matzos inside. But this is what it looks like. And you can make it nice and tasty with different toppings, butter, jam, and so forth, not Marmite and not Bovril, because there's yeast in that. That would defeat the purpose. So the challenge is for 7 days to eat nothing that puffs up, right? This is also a reminder to us of what Paul spoke about in Galatians 5 verse 9, when he said, a little leaven leavens the whole lump. And so what does this mean? He's saying that a little bit of sin, a little bit of untruth, a little bit of lies, false teaching, or impure thoughts can affect and transform the whole person and eventually the whole community. So it's a good practice once a year to focus sincerely on not eating the leaven or yeast and to make sure that it's not within your gates at all. So what does this mean with sin? We must eradicate sin from our lives in totality. You may think, oh, I'm all right. You know, I don't sin that much, or I'm fine. And just as in the Festival of Matzah, you think you're fine, but if you watch again, somehow you ate the thing that you are specifically not eating this week. Last year, I visited some friends who were also celebrating the Feast of Matzah, and they brought us some popcorn. So I mentioned that, did you guys check for raising agents? Because these things, many chips, you'll be surprised, potato chips have raising agents and things like that. You'll be surprised how many things have it. So we were sitting there eating it, what. I said this in the middle of eating this. They checked it, and it was like that. Somewhere where you would never expect to find yeast, there it is in popcorn. So the point of it is to focus on eradicating sin and to remind us that even though you think you're okay, you need to be extra attentive because you're not. The sin just creeps in. That is the Festival of Matzah. So in preparation for the Festival of Matzah, this is posted in 2024. The Festival of Matzah starts on Tuesday, 23 April at sunset. That's when the Festival of Matzah starts. Remember, a day starts at sunset and ends then at sunset. And it lasts for 7 days. It starts at sunset of Tuesday, 23 April, and it ends at sunset of Tuesday, 30 April. The day starts at sunset, and Father says that he wants us to take a holy day, a high day, also known as a high day, on the first day and the seventh day. In other words, we should put in leave for those days. So the Tuesday, 23 April, and the Tuesday, 30 April, 2024. Is when we should put in leave. Father says that this is a special convocation. No servile work is to be done. Verse 6. And on the 15th day of this new moon, or new month, is the festival of Matzos to the Lord. 7 days you eat unleavened bread. On the first day you have a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. And you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahweh for 7 days. On the seventh day, it's a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. So that offering made by fire was made in the temple. We don't do that now. But the first day and the seventh day are set-apart gatherings. So we should congregate and we should do no work. So it's a Shabbat. It's a high day. We also will not trade, as is the parameters for a Shabbat, right? Yes. So that's that. So in preparation, go through your cupboard, go through your house, make sure that everything is taken out that has yeast in. Also, inspect your life and pray and ask God to show you where there's leaven in your heart. So leaven causes you to be puffed up. So where do you have pride and where is sin that you should eradicate? With regards to the Matzos, you can eat this that you find in boxes, or you can also make your own. In the link below, I will put some recipes, some of my favorite recipes. This is a lovely time. It's the festival of unleavened bread. It's the festival of matzah. It's not the fast of matzah, you know? So you don't have to eat only matzah. You can eat normal things, you just don't eat leaven. So this is your time to make tacos with tortillas. You can make, just be sure that the spices don't have yeast in. Make rotis. I will also put a description down below. I really like this roti recipe, especially if you make it in butter and those types of things. So make a feast out of it. It isn't a fast of matzah, it's a festival of matzah. So enjoy the festival, and I really wish you all the best. If you get it right to go through the whole matzah without accidentally eating any chametz. So chametz is leaven, it's yeast extract, raising agents, baking powder, those types of things that causes you to be puffed up. Bread, buns, sour bread, your sourdough starter will need to be thrown out. You will create a new one after the time. So all the best. And if you get it right to go through the whole matzah without accidentally eating any chametz, comment down below that you made it. Because I haven't made it through a single matzah in 11 years so far without accidentally eating some. So many blessings to you and your family. Shalom.